Last week on Seeds of Gold from Dr. Diana Nambatya Kwagala's farm in Kisasi, we looked at the idea of urban farming and how we can use it to support our families the simplest way. This week, we go on to see another important product that will encourage you to find value in that smelly cow dung on your farm. Coming up on Seeds of Gold.
And so we're able to build a biogas plant that converts dung. From the dung we get biogas, which biogas we use for lighting but also for cooking. And then after doing that we get the bioslurry. The bioslurry, we get it, we add in maimuluru zamwetanga and chigaji, we keep it for 10 days and then we pack and sell to the market.
Urban farming involves utilizing the smallest space one has as efficiently as possible. In urban farming, farmers usually take on various projects such as chicken rearing, animal rearing, and others. However, this kind of farming comes with its own challenges considering the small area available for a farmer to work with. For Dr. Diana, the challenges that came with cattle rearing on her half-an-acre land, she turned the lemons into lemonade. Dr. Diana has seen most of her income on the farm come from the unbearable cow dung.
I should say that we got cows as wedding gifts, and one of the major challenge we had for us as a family was that these cows came to this farm when we were not ready for them, and so being on a half-acre with cows was very challenging because we would dig a hole, and then after digging a hole to put in the dung, in 10 days the hole is full. You dig another hole, in 10 days it is full. And so it came to a point when our hole, almost 3/4, maybe like half the acre, was full of just dung. You'd step and before you know it, your foot is going down because of the dung. And so that's when we noticed that we had two options, either to do away with the cows, or if not to do away with the cows, to look for a process to deal with them. And so we're able to build a biogas plant that converts dung. From the dung we get biogas, which biogas we use for lighting but also for cooking. And then after doing that we get the bioslurry. So Dr. Jola Kabirizi gave us the advice and the skill on how to get that bioslurry, convert it into organic pesticide, convert it into odor neutralizers, organic fertilizers that we sell on the market. And then the cow dung, the bioslurry, we get it, we add in maimuluru zamwetanga and chigaji, we keep it for 10 days and then we pack and sell to the market.
Factors to consider when making biogas on the farm involve: the pH and temperature of the feedstock should be the best. The carbon to nitrogen ratio of the feed material should be in the range of 20:1 to 30:1. Animal manure is hence ideal since it has a carbon to nitrogen ratio of 25:1. Solid concentration in the feed material is as crucial to ensure sufficient gas production as well as easy mixing and handling. It is important to ensure a balanced diet schedule for the animals with the purpose of increasing more dung for the production of biogas. Biogas can be used for domestic cooking, industrial heating, combined and heat power generation as well as vehicle fuel.
We're standing is where our cows stay. On Kwagala farm we make sure that when it's 6 a.m. in the morning, when our cows are being milked, they'll be milked here. But then after they'll head out to make sure that by the time the sun comes out, they're able to find vitamin C. We make sure that our cows stay outside to wait for vitamin C and not them going out when the sun has come out. As soon as the sun becomes scorching or a lot, we will move them from this side and then they'll go the other side. So these work as like their bedrooms where they spend the night. Our cows feed 24 hours because we want to make sure that we get enough dung for our biogas system. So what happens is that, as you will see, their feeds are already here, but also the water is already here. The difference is during the day, the cows will be sharing the eating places, but also the drinking places. The uniqueness though is that when it is night time, every cow will have its own small apartment of sorts to have what to eat and what to drink. In the event that during the day the cow did not feed enough, they will have a lot of time to eat by themselves and then get satisfied. We feed our cows on hay. Hay is right there. Cows should take 3% of dry hay daily. And so we use that dry hay and feed our cows on hay. We feed our cows on silage. Silage is when you add in hay with some bran or potato veins with bran, and then you keep it for a long period of time. We also feed our cows on vikuta that you see here, but beyond that we also feed our cows on molasses and that hay.
By names of Tunai Moses, I'm a manager in Kwagala farm, and we are happy to see you. When I mix cow dung, I mix cow dung to make biogas. We get biogas and biorite. Here we are on how to collect cow dung from the cra and how we mix them. You first get your gloves, you wear them, you get a bucket, a spade and a hoe. You collect all the cow dung from the cra, you bring them here in the mixing chamber. You pour in the mixing chamber cow dung, you get water, you pour in the mixing chamber in ratios. In 1 bucket of cow dung, we mix with 2 buckets of water.
During the process of making biogas, the fresh animal manure is collected in a tank before its processing to the homogenization tank, which is equipped with a mixer to facilitate homogenization of the waste stream. The uniformly mixed waste is passed through a macerator to obtain uniform particle size of 5 to 10 millimeters and pumped into suitable capacity anaerobic digesters where stabilization of waste takes place.
After mixing in the mixing chamber, whatever he has mixed will come down here in the biodigester where you're standing. In the biodigester, there's a suction tube that will pull out the gas and pump it directly to the kitchen. Right after that, the residues, what we call a bioslurry, will come here. In this collection pit, we will get our bioslurry, we'll mix in omululuza, omwetango, echigaji, and then we'll be able to make our organic fertilizer. Beyond that, we will add neem tree, omululuza, mwetango, chigaji, and the bioslurry, and we'll have our 2-in-1 pesticide. So using the bioslurry, we're able to do about 4 products. We do what we call the Kwagala organic fertilizer, we do the Kwagala odor neutralizer, and then 3, we do the Kwagala biosoil boost, and 4, we're able to do the Kwagala odor neutralizer. So with those 4 products, all of them, the main ingredient is the bioslurry. As you're all aware, the cow dung has in urea from the urine, but also from the dung itself. So when the process of biogas, removing the gas for lighting and for cooking, the bioslurry will also have in the component of urea, which is really nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And what we learned from our expert that has really mentored us in this business, Dr. Jole Kabirizi, was when you have nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, those are very important ingredients for organic fertilizers, but also the pesticide. So with just using this is where the biggest income of Kwagala Farm comes from. Bioslurry is the most expensive product that we have on this farm.
urban farmer, Dr. Diana's experience shows that everything you may have on the farm must be utilized. For her case, she has taken the route of adding more value even from the residues she collects after making the biogas. The residues in form of biocelery are taken care of by adding more natural herbs to make fertilizers, odor neutralizers, and even liquid soap.
So I'm going to show you how all these things came up. As usual, you have come from down where the cattle are. You have seen how the biocelery is made, how the gas moves out, how everything is done. So this is maybe the final process. As you can see, we are seeing the biofertilizer, we are seeing the soil booster, we are seeing the liquid soap. Here we put the bioslurry first, we put ometango, we put a chigaji, all those fertilizers, and then we make this soil. We mix them up. This is the final product, ready to be sold to customers.
When we pack it here, we give customers two options. They can buy this bucket at 20,000, but also they can buy this cabera for 10,000. A kilo of this goes for 1,000, and so these are 10 kilos, and that will cost 10,000. Whereas this, because of the packaging and the branding, it's slightly more expensive. It's 20,000. When a customer takes this, they'll have to mix it in an equivalent quantity of 30 kg. So if you buy 10 kilograms of biosoil boost, you'll add in, but you'll mix it in 30 kilograms of soil. This is to enable a farmer have a high yield, as Russell has mentioned. We'll now move on to the organic fertilizers. Russell?
We have more liters of what? Of biofertilizers. We have this. We have 500 milliliters. We have the 5 liters and the 20 liters here down. How do you make this? We get the bioslurry from down. We add ometango. We add omuluza and the chigaji. So if you mix all these, we add some water as usual. So that's how we are coming up with this. And this, yeah, and this, it doesn't smell anyway because there's no gas.
The last part we're going to talk about is, as we went on, we realized that when we get out amululuza, mwetango, and chigaji out of the, because we sieve them, and then we're able to pack the real liquid. So when we pack the real liquid, what we realized was that the residues, we usually used to throw them away. But now moving forward, we don't throw them away, we just get that residue, ebikanja by'omululuza, mwetango, and chigaji, and then we add in ebikola by'amapapali, and then we're able to do liquid soap. I must acknowledge though that whereas our organic fertilizers are 100% organic, our liquid soap is not 100% organic, because when we put in the purple leaves, they don't produce that great foam. So what we do is we add in a bit of ungaro and a few other extracts that we put in liquid soap, so that it's only 60% organic and 40% inorganic. So from what you've seen, the biggest resource that we have on this farm is the cow dung. Through the cow dung, we're able to do all these. We pack and supply to Container Village, but also we take some to Rwanda as a way of making sure that we have the income that we need as a small urban farm.
With climate change, you really need organic fertilizers. Inorganic fertilizers are harmful to the environment, and so the way to go is doing your own organic fertilizers. And so on Kwagala Farm we do our own organic fertilizers, so sort of managing the whole value chain so that you're sure of what you're doing. And so when you have organic fertilizers, your yield will double or even triple. But when the fertilizers are not, when you don't use fertilizers, you limit your yield. So organic fertilizers, you leave the artificials like the ones sold on the market,
and then you use natural plants. So for example, when I mix my mululuza, mwetango, shigaji, and my bioslurry from the cow is a component of the urine from the cow and the dung having urea. Urea has 3 compositions: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. When I use my bioslurry, instead of using the water or instead of using the synthetic, I'm already using my natural NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
As one may be swayed into the urban farming business, you should put in mind both the visible and invisible challenges to look out for and learn not to ignore, but work with them.
I think for me, I'll speak to the greatest challenge. It is self. And this challenge does not go to only the urban farmer, but the feeling of it won't be possible. The feeling of I have only this small space, I can't do much. Whereas there are all these challenges of counterfeit seeds. For me, I don't think that's a major challenge for an urban farmer. The major challenge for an urban farmer is the mindset. So, if people knew what urban farming can do, I don't think people would be struggling to say they'll farm on acres. But the mindset of I need big land to make money is the major challenge. The second challenge is being compliant. In terms of what? Most urban farmers are also juggling a full-time job. And so people are torn in between loyalties. They expected at office at 8, but they have to water, they come back late. So that's another challenge. The third challenge is, for us in Africa, they don't get a backyard gardening. We only understand the other, I woke up in the morning and went to a garden far away. But yet we're living the real gist, which is urban farming. As an urban farmer, usually the backyard is within your house. And so supervision is top-notch. It's at your house. In terms of looking after these products, your children will be involved. And so it would be easy for as long as you practice it. But the whole challenge comes from the mindset problem.
But after all is said and done, an urban farmer needs a market for all these products, such as the fertilizers. And as Dr. Diana puts it, market starts with the best quality products.
The biggest challenge in Uganda can be market. But I think for me, market is a cover-up. The biggest challenge is quality. In this country, people are looking for quality. When you're looking at fertilizers, people are looking for quality and they want to run away from counterfeit. When you're looking for vegetables, people are looking for quality, for organic vegetables. If I can tell you, we don't have 100 customers on Kwagala farm. We just have 12 customers that buy our vegetables. But these are people that eat 100% organic. And so, whereas market is a challenge, the best way to address the market problem is to look at the quality. Once quality is assured, it will make you stand out of the market. Quantity will give you the market, but it will not keep you in the market. Quality will sustain you in the market. And so, we can talk about this market problem, but let's go back to the roots and address the quality problem.
Well, before you go out looking for market from elsewhere, make sure your product is worth the market. Farming is indeed possible.
I think for me, my last message is to the women. Believe you me, women have the potential to make it work. But I think the main challenge is that we are so laid back sometimes, thinking it's not possible. But I think the journey of Kwagala Farm sets the precedence that it is possible. Irrespective of where you're coming from, irrespective of your education background, when you look at Kwagala Farm and the women that she has trained, it simply tells you that we can make it. And so for the women, we just need to start small, but ensure that we're consistent. So if it's backyard gardening, not doing it this month and you're like, Biagana, but being consistent to say, I'll push. So 1 year down the road, it might have been tough. It will get better the next year and get better and get better. So doing the same thing, doing it differently, but ensuring that every day you're making a difference.